Alright boys, I have not done some bike content in a while, so I got a new, I don't run the rear pegs, but I got a new one of these on order that's not a rear peg, so I'm going to put this on as a temporary. But we got this, and I've been kind of changing my style up on what I kind of like lately, and I've just been obsessed with this style of muffler. This one did come with a baffle. Obviously we're not going to use it, but I got to get this thing off. You guys have already heard how this thing sounds, and we're going to be replacing it with this, which this one should be a little bit quieter. Not that I care about that, but this thing just has no baffles left. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this one way. Also, this is starting to separate from the rivets. I'm kind of over this style. It does hit the swing arm. So we're going to get rid of that, and we got new brackets, and we're going to swap it out and see how. So for some reason, obviously the eBay one's on the side, so basically what I'll do is I run both springs, you guys can see, one from the bottom, one from the top, to kind of keep it straight. So we're going to take that off, and we're going to see how this one fits. Oh, she fits beautifully. So now we just got to pick the positioning, figure out where this guy's going to sit. I did make a bracket at one point. We're going to do away with that as well. So I'm going to go grab my Allens and see where we want to put that. Alright, so scratch what I said about that's definitely not going to work. The new one moves the mount to like up here. So I'm just going to save the bolts that I have and put everything together. I don't know when the mount's going to be here. It says it could be here in June. So I'm just going to put the bolts in so I know I have them. And that'll be where I leave that. But at least we'll be able to hear how it sounds today. That'll be the nice part, because definitely wanted a muffler upgrade for a while, and I've had no idea what mufflers I wanted to choose. And well, I've been really liking this style a lot more. I came from Hondas, so the canister was like my style, but now I don't know, we'll try it. Alright, so obviously without the piece to go across there, it doesn't look right yet. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up, because the neighbors are cutting the grass, so it's like they're not going to care about noise. I'm going to start it up, see how she sounds, and then we'll put the baffle in, which you guys can see, it literally has a blocker right there, and then all of it. This, I cannot see this being healthy for a motorcycle, to be honest. But that would drop right in there, and then it bolts in somehow. Yeah, kind of like that. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, yeah, I don't know how much of that it filmed, but I put the baffle in, kind of quiets it up a little bit, blows it out, but I think I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna wait for the piece to come in, and then probably film the rest of this video. But this is the old one. Yeah, I think we did good. Yeah, she's definitely been sitting for a little bit. We have some big plans this year as things go on. Obviously, I already changed the color. Just waiting on the mount for that. I want it longer. We're gonna move, get a longer chain, pull it back a little bit, probably another inch or so. New sprockets, new tires. This one's down to the cord. I just drove up the road real quick just to kind of get a, you know, some sound clips and whatnot. We'll readjust that once the piece comes in, then we're good. But yeah, she's pretty. I definitely like it. So a couple of heat cycles of it, we should be able to get this piece off and get the jiggling to stop. I'm not gonna ride it around like that until we get a mount, but she definitely jiggles a little bit, and I don't like that. So. All right, so the part still hasn't come in. We got another like week before it does. So it's supposed to torrential downpour and tornado today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this thing in the shop today. We're gonna be pulling the rear tire off, the chain sprocket, and all the front forks. I'm gonna try to paint the forks, and we're gonna try to paint the wheels. So these are gonna go teal, and then these are gonna go black, but we're running out of time. I wanna get these painted, and then after we're done painting them, rebuild them, because the front brakes kind of suck right now. So, chain is getting a little rusted from me letting it sit out, so we're literally gonna replace the chain, sprocket, and this sprocket back here, and push this axle back about another inch. So, let's get down there. I'm not even gonna bother putting a helmet on or equipment or whatnot. It's only like a 10-minute ride through town, so. On the bright side, let's see a cold start here. I need both hands. we go. It's gonna rattle. It's gonna rattle like hell because it's not on a bracket, but it'll be fine. By the time I get back from my trip, we'll have a bracket. So I went to stop at Fisher's. It's coming in pretty quick. We haven't had any issues yet. I had a cop behind me, no helmet and anything, but I am legal to do that. Also, when I go down to Carnes Performance, I'm gonna get a picture of this and get a new hose. We're gonna do a brake flush, all that shit. So this thing is gonna be literally refurbished, brand new, as best as I can, minus the rear shock. The rear shock's still fine, but definitely gonna do this brake hose. All right, camera doesn't make it look as good as it does. Also, I have these in the trunk. All right. He still shoots fireballs. I'm gonna use that as a test to see how well these coolant hoses are. I'm gonna let the fan run for a little bit. How was that? That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. I was second. I could have done a little better, but I'm gonna get this thing up on the jack stands in the corner. Oh, okay, the fan's turned off. They'll be all right. But yeah, I'm gonna get this thing up on jack stands in the corner, start pulling the chain sprocket, getting these forks out. Probably gonna use the engine crane for the front. And unfortunately, this bike is not gonna be recognizable in here in a couple minutes. Luckily, anything to do with the fairings, that's done. I can reach in here and grab this side. I'm only gonna replace the one, because this one's still fine, so I'm just gonna replace that one and keep the other one as a spare in case something happens. They're cheap. It was like, I don't know, 10 bucks for those lights, so they're not too bad. Brock's Performance Lowering Kit, that's why I put these in here. These are from a 12 valve. Basically, it straps across from here, and then it runs a strap up over the frame so that you can slam the front end if you guys are doing any races and whatnot, which we will be taking this thing on the track. Don't you guys worry about that. All right. People seem to love it when I put a lot of money into this bike, into an older bike, which I'm gonna keep doing it. So I forgot to mention, this kickstand is also coming off. We're gonna be replacing that with a probably Brock's Performance, but there are other options on the market. Those are like 250 bucks. The tires are about 350 bucks. The chain sprocket, probably about 300 bucks. The forks getting rebuilt are about 350 bucks, and then whatever the front caliper cost me, that one should be free. And then the fairings were about 400 or 500 bucks. So about 1,800 bucks put into this bike just to be able to ride it this year. And I see where a lot of bikes get clapped out. I went through and did all the wiring on this thing. We just got these guys done. I think I put new handles and bar ends on this at one point, but I'm at the point in my life where I like everything to just work out. Like, same thing with that thing. You know, I spent 12 grand on that. I'm actually working on pulling the transmission now to do the rear main. But, you know, I spent money on this thing. This thing was a couple $100 bucks, you know. Eventually, I'd love to get an actual longer swing arm. I generally like the center of the wheel to be, you know, with the back of the tail. That's kind of how I like it. Because you can still corner, you can still do that stuff, but most of the people who say, oh, you can't corner with a stretch bike, most of those guys are people who haven't taken a corner in their life and actually don't know how to ride. They just talk all the shit in the world and they don't know what they're doing anyway. But I'm end up pull this back tire off. Unfortunately, the way that I got to pick this thing up, I'm gonna have to pick it up to where it's not supported by the front forks. So might just put a jack under the engine. I'm not sure yet, but the whole front wheel has to come off. everything in the front has to come off. Everything in the back has to come off. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these forks, and then I'm going to drop them off with the company that I'm going to have do the rebuild. I think we're using Carnes Performance up here. I'm pretty sure they're the best ones up here, but that I don't know. This thing's also, if you guys are wondering how long a Q5 lasts, I got a decent life out of it. Fast. Oh, that's the wrong way. That should be neutral. That is not neutral. One more. That's neutral. So this is the cord. Probably could have got a little bit more life out of it, but we are down to, you can see it right there. So it's rubbing on that, so that's why you'll hear that noise. But basically, I have all my tools in here to take everything off. Show you guys what we got. But this video was supposed to be about an exhaust. Now we're tearing the whole thing down. The piece that I got, I tried using the factory one. It puts it like way up here. So the piece I got comes right down to it. And this cheap muffler actually sounds pretty good. You can see it does vibrate a little bit. So that's where the bracket will come in. I really liked the shorty exhaust, but unfortunately it hits down here, and we can't be having that. So I've kind of like warmed up to the look of these things, and I really like them. So, and some of the expensive ones, I wanted to get one that had the bracket just bolted into the muffler, but I did see a couple of the expensive ones had the strap that goes around it, so I'm like, you know what, it'll be fine. I don't like the carbon fiber look. I wanted more of a black one, but it is what it is. Let's start pulling things apart. So we have these two sockets. I'm not sure. This one's a 32, and then this one is a 36. I'll have to figure out why that is. I know this one is for the back axle. I'm pretty sure this one might be for the sprocket. No, it's not. Maybe, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this one's for the sprocket. And then I got the two lights you can see here. Like I said, I don't know. Those ones are a lot darker, I think. Let's do a comparison here. Yeah, I might just end up replacing both of them. And then we got this for the front axle, and then we got a chain breaker. This thing's neat. You tighten it down to where you want it, and then you use this piece to break it. But that's what we got in the trunk. I'm gonna pull everything out. I wanna make sure all my paperwork is legal for this year. Make sure, I have my motorcycle license, but they never updated it on my license. So when I get pulled over, I just tell them I have a motorcycle license, and in the system I have a motorcycle license, but the DMV won't update it because something with Harley and something with the actual place that does the services, I don't know what the deal is. Knowing I can't get a hard copy of my license, but if I get pulled over, they're like, yeah, you're good, you have your license. I had a cop behind me read my plate earlier, and he just kept going, and I'm like, and I have no helmet on. Obviously, I'm only driving. I feel safer without the helmet, to be honest, because when I'm not riding with a helmet, I'm doing way under the speed limit. Second you put that helmet on, you feel invincible. So that's a little dangerous. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I just like all my shit to work. I like everything correct. I'm tired of shit just being rigged, and when I bought this thing, it was like, it was awful. So I'm gonna start pulling pieces off. Get this cotter pin off, get that off, get the rear tire out, get the axle out, grease all that stuff up. And then I'm gonna drop everything off at Carnes between the rear tire and the forks after they're painted, because I wanna pull all the weights off and then paint these wheels back to black. I know the teal looks good on the wheels, but it's such a bitch to clean. We're just gonna go back to black, and then we'll do the teal accents probably on just the front forks. And then maybe some internal engine stuff, like hidden stuff. But basically I want a black on black on black, and then a little bit of teal, kind of like where we have Bertha over here. I'm doing the intercooler in teal. I'm probably gonna do that in teal. And then the traction bars we do, I'm gonna have in teal as well. All right, so I'm gonna set this up here like that. I got the sprocket off. If you guys, I really don't know how many miles I have on these tires, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 miles. But this is the aluminum sprocket, which I am 100% going to run again. I really like this. It's a lightweight piece. On a 600, well, any of your bikes really, all this lightweight stuff, the more lightweight you can do, the faster you're gonna be. These Q5s on the dyno have been proven to do about 10 extra horsepower just from how light they are. And then also on top of that, I would love to do the wheel bearing upgrade, but they're about $400, and technically we don't need that. So maybe in the future. I don't know what wheels I want to run. I'm really trying to find an aftermarket set because these things are just ugly as sin. And then this. So I will not buy this chain kit again. You guys can see that's the master link right there, and it's gone. You can see the little clip. This thing is literally being held in by this little piece here. This little piece. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna try to get that out. I'll show you here in a second. All right, you see that? That little tiny piece was holding my chain on. Granted, it doesn't look like it's gonna come out right now, but it definitely would under some pressure. So I'm gonna get this master link pulled out and get this chain out, and I will not run this chain again, just for safety reasons. I have a lot of money into this bike, and I don't wanna be the reason that anything breaks. So a couple of things. This used to be my brake bracket right here, and I cut it, and I'm probably gonna do a lot more shaving on it, just for that spacer aspect. Probably shave the whole way back around it to make that look pretty. But I'm usually pretty good at, you know, lubing my chain. I did not this entire year because I'm literally just getting back into the season. This fucker just won't come out. Look at that. All right, so it did work. I didn't realize the rivets are still on the backside, so you can definitely take advantage of that. I'll show you guys here in a second. Let me get that out of there. All the way out. There we go. There's one of the rivets. And that means this should pull right out. So, lesson learned. Don't buy one that doesn't rivet itself together. That's hot. So I'm gonna use this as an example. I gotta count these and see what I ordered last time, and I'll probably just get a chain from Carnes. But yeah, what are you guys lubing your chains with that they don't make a mess? Because that is annoying. All right, here's where we're at. So everything's sitting. We got the fender, which that's gonna probably get replaced with a carbon fiber one day. Lost one of the bolts over here somewhere in my pile, but we got the forks out. She's sitting on the ground. This one was really bad. I know it was leaking last year, but all right, we'll get this. There you go. So forks, start tearing the rest of it down later, but other than that, I think that's where we're at. She is not the most sturdy in the world, but hopefully it doesn't fall.